If you deal with eczema, psoriasis, acne or other skin problems, you know how frustrating and debilitating these conditions can be and how difficult it can be to find solutions. One big reason these skin conditions are so tricky is that there are actually more than 100 varieties of eczema and psoriasis, though the medical world doesn't know this yet. And the truth is, many other skin conditions are actually just different versions of eczema and psoriasis. Another reason skin issues are so difficult is medical communities don't know what causes these conditions. Eczema, psoriasis and acne have everything to do with what's going on in the liver. All skin conditions that aren't injuries actually stem from the liver. Your liver is so important, and it works so hard for you more than you can possibly imagine and more than medical science and research are aware. For example, the liver performs over 2,000 life-saving chemical functions, but only a fraction of these have been discovered. Let's start with a little more information about the liver, which is a miraculous and amazing organ. There are basically three main layers of the liver, or three depths. There's the dense core deep inside the big lobe, there's a subsurface area, and then there's the surface or skin of the liver. All three layers can hold pathogens and toxins, and it's these pathogens and toxins in the liver that are the real cause of skin conditions. What type of skin condition you have simply depends on the types and amount of these pathogens and toxins you have. Three things have to be present in the liver for eczema and psoriasis to occur. First, there has to be a toxic heavy metal inside the liver. Second, there has to be a pathogen, specifically a virus. And third, the liver has to have a certain combination of the right heavy metals and pathogens in order to cause eczema or psoriasis. Now here's the deal, different combinations of toxins and pathogens cause different varieties of eczema, psoriasis and other skin conditions. That's why skin issues manifest so differently in different people, and there are over 100 varieties of eczema alone, which hasn't yet been discovered. The condition can come and go for some people, but it might stick around just about forever for others. Sometimes it's confined to just one part of the body, so only the hands or only the legs and knees are affected. It might be patchy or rough or cracked or look like a constellation, depending on the person. It may occur in early childhood, or in the teenage years, or when you're middle-aged, or only when you're elderly. All these differences are because the recipe of toxins and bugs lead to a different outcome, and because there are so many varieties of eczema and psoriasis. How skin conditions develop. Now you know that certain pathogens and toxins in the liver cause skin conditions, but you might be wondering where they came from. First of all, science and research doesn't know yet about how many bugs, viruses and bacteria are present in the liver. The study of viruses, virology, is severely underfunded these days, though it used to receive more attention in the past. People can literally enter the world with viruses already inside their liver that have been passed on as early as conception and during the baby's development in the womb from their family line. Babies can suffer with eczema from such a young age that eczema is considered to be genetic. Eczema, psoriasis, acne and other skin issues are not genetic. It is the pathogens and toxins inherited from the family line that set someone up to have the same illness that their parents or ancestors did, not their DNA. Now everybody has some toxic heavy metals in their liver, but copper in particular almost always has to be present to cause eczema and psoriasis. Mercury too can be the toxic heavy metal behind certain kinds of rashes. Note that science and research don't yet have any way to detect that these metals are present in the liver. Other toxins that can contribute to skin rashes include pesticides, herbicides, solvents, petroleum products, antibiotics, and other pharmaceuticals inside our livers. Irritation and inflammation on the skin. Medical communities don't yet know that viruses actually feed on those toxic heavy metals, and as they do, they release and excrete what I call a dermatoxin. This is not the external dermatoxin you might have heard of, such as when a chemical irritates the skin. This is an internally produced dermatoxin. When the liver releases dermatoxins, they move out of the liver and into the bloodstream through the hepatic portal vein, the main vein from the liver. The hepatic portal vein brings the dermatoxins to the heart via the blood, where they're circulated around the rest of the body. Your body tries to protect you by getting those poisons out, so it eliminates the dermatoxins by pushing them out through the skin. The skin is one route for your body to eliminate toxins. Just like sweating or going to the bathroom, they are all routes for our body to eliminate toxins, to detoxify. It's good that those dermatoxins are released, because when they instead continually circulate through the bloodstream, they can cause damage to organs like your heart and brain. Pushing the dermatoxins through the skin is your body's masterful way of protecting your internal organs. Unfortunately, as those dermatoxins exit through the skin, your skin takes the hit. It gets irritated and inflamed, and you experience the miserable and often debilitating symptoms of eczema, psoriasis and other skin conditions. As challenging as skin conditions are, it's nice to know that they actually show up because your liver is working hard to eliminate the toxins. Unfortunately, this truth is completely opposite of the standard belief in the medical world. The prevailing theory is that these skin conditions are autoimmune diseases, meaning that your immune system is attacking your own tissue. This is simply not true. Your body is loyal to you and always wants to help you heal. When people develop really severe cases of eczema and psoriasis, it may be because they have an especially high viral load, or they have an extra high level of copper and/or mercury. Extreme cases always mean the person has a sluggish liver also. The liver is an incredibly amazing workhorse, but if it's overloaded, its filter essentially becomes clogged and the organ becomes weakened and less effective. When that happens, the blood becomes thick and dirty with a plethora of pathogens and toxins, and the dermatoxin becomes trapped in the bloodstream and lymphatic system and gets stuck under the skin, unable to exit the body. In these situations the dermatoxins bother the skin even more, triggering severe eczema and psoriasis. You might be wondering what viruses cause these problems. Epstein-Barr virus is the most prevalent, and certain varieties of Epstein-Barr are usually the cause of eczema and psoriasis. There are actually more than 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr, a truth which is still undiscovered and unknown in medical communities. Sometimes the culprit is the shingles virus, of which there are also dozens of undiscovered varieties, many of which don't produce a rash. And some other viruses can also learn to feed off copper or mercury to create skin conditions. It's not difficult to pick up a virus as easy as trying a sip of someone else's drink, sharing a kiss, or using a public toilet. And as I've already mentioned, we can be born with pathogens from our family line. Thankfully there's much we can do to kill off pathogens, so there's nothing to be afraid of, but it is important to be aware so you can protect yourself and your loved ones. There are many ways people accumulate heavy metals too. One is that it's passed on from generation to generation, unfortunately. Take DDT. It's high in the toxic heavy metal copper, and DDT was used prolifically for decades. People sprayed it on the farms, sprayed it in the parks, sprayed it on their gardens and even sprinkled it on their food, if you can imagine that. Really. It was sold as a nutritional supplement, and most households had it sitting there in the pantry alongside the salt and pepper and oats and flour. DDT was used so much for so long that it continues to be in our environment, and again, it is passed down at conception and in the womb for generations. We also take in toxins and copper through modern pesticides and common chemicals, as well as seemingly innocent everyday household features like copper pipes. There's many more ways we are exposed to toxic heavy metals, so focusing on effectively and safely removing heavy metals is important for everyone today. Other skin conditions have a similar root cause in that they stem from an issue in the liver, but each has their own unique factors that cause it. Other mysterious skin conditions are seborrheic dermatitis, classic dermatitis, actinic keratosis, rosacea, vitiligo, age spots, and more. Antibiotics have been offered for acne for a long time, but the reason why antibiotics have worked is that acne is caused by Streptococcus. Medical science and research don't know this specific bacteria is the true cause of acne. When the practice of using antibiotics for acne started decades ago, it improved acne by killing off the strep, but it also bred stronger strains of strep. Today we deal with those strengthened, mutated strains. Medical communities also believe there's a hormonal connection with acne. And there is a connection, but hormones actually have nothing to do with the cause. The reason acne has a connection with various hormonal cycles, adolescence and menstruation, for instance, is that the immune system is strained during those times. The body is focusing its energy on other tasks, like growing, ovulating or menstruating. The lowered immunity gives pathogens the perfect opportunity to strike. Like other skin conditions, acne has its roots in the liver too. Strep can be stored in the liver and it can hide there and stay dormant until it finds a good opportunity, like when the body is under stress or the immune system is lowered. Then the strep can move into the lymph and into the dermal layer of the skin. Your body then creates sebum oil to try and protect itself. The industry mistakenly thinks that oil is a culprit. And yes, it's true that some topical solutions that clean up the oil can help a bit, But that's just because cleaning up the excess oil is one thing that helps the appearance of the skin. The oil certainly isn't the cause. What you can do. It's possible to heal your skin conditions by starving viruses and bacteria and removing the toxic heavy metals and other toxins that cause these conditions. You can do that through the food and supplements. Note that different pathogens have an appetite for different foods, but taking the following steps will get you started with true healing. Eliminate eggs and dairy, including milk, cheese, butter, yogurt and kefir. Lower the fat in your diet, because that gives the liver a break so its own immune system can literally rebuild. This means limiting how much animal protein you eat while healing, because all animal protein is also high in fat. The same goes for plant foods. Lower the fat in your diet by reducing or eliminating oils, nuts, soy, seeds, and avocado. Significantly increase the amount of fruits, leafy greens and vegetables you eat. Drink pure celery juice every morning on an empty stomach. Consider the supplements. Helpful supplements to start with right away include B12 with adenosylcobalamin and methylcobalamin, zinc sulfate, vitamin C as Ester-C or liposomal C, spirulina, nettle leaf, lemon balm. Look at the description below the video. You can find links to the best possible supplements on market today. If you want to get daily information about health, please subscribe.